All right. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great day today. Getting close to the weekend. Hope you have a great weekend coming up. Wanted to do this video to introduce you to the latest JWM spin of NuTyX. And it has become an official release from NuTyX. And I really want to thank Cherry for allowing me to be a part of NuTyX. NuTyX, after when I first discovered NuTyX, it kind of scared me because it was saying how it was based on LFS and I think beyond LFS, which it's kind of moved on from that now. It's kind of become its own thing. But when I read that, I was really intrigued with the distro. But as someone who didn't have a lot of experience back then, it kind of scared me. And I eventually, after, I guess, I'm going to say a couple of years, I finally got my nerve up and downloaded NuTyX and ended up building my own system from it. And it quickly became my absolute favorite Linux distro. And it still is today. I absolutely love NuTyX, and to me it's one of the easiest and most enjoyable distros to use. Okay, aside from all that, I'm running this live from a USB. This is what you will get if you download it and try it out. Now I'm running this from RAM because I needed the extra USB port for this microphone. And before I go any further, let me say I know there's background noise, and I will do my best to edit that out. So if you hear some background noise, I apologize, but I'm doing the best I can do under the circumstances. All right, this is NuTyX with JWM as the window manager, and this is what you will see other than the simple screen recorder icon down here. I actually installed simple screen recorder in this live session. You don't get it out of the box. So, but what you see is what you're going to get. Along the bottom panel you get a menu, the file manager, terminal. Now let me increase the size of this terminal because I want you to see something and I don't want it to scare you. If you see this memory usage right here, that is not what you're going to get when you use or try NuTyX JWM, out of the box. That's because I am running from RAM right now. I'm not actually running from the USB, I'm just running from RAM. So it's taking up some resources while it's doing that. So you get that. You get this little icon, it looks like a keyboard, and that is your keyboard shortcuts. And all this is, it throws up a notification. I think I have that notification set to last for, I think, 30 seconds. However, as long as you put your mouse on the notification, just like any notification, it'll stay there as long as your mouse is on top of it. And to get rid of it, you can just click on it like this. Okay. And of course, that notification will show you the keyboard shortcuts that come out of the box. If you decide you want to change any keyboard shortcuts, that notification will no longer do you any good unless you need it for something you didn't change. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Get your network manager, a volume icon, and I actually designed that volume icon to work with this system. When we get to the theme changer in a minute, you'll see why. I wanted a volume icon that would work with both dark and light themes. So I made this volume icon for that express purpose. You get a clock, and if you click on the clock, you get this calendar, and that's provided by YAD. Works like any regular calendar. You can go back, forth, whatever, and just hit the close button. And on the far right is your show desktop icon, or minimize all windows, whatever you want to call it. If you click on that, if you have open windows, it will minimize them. Okay. All right, let's get in, see exactly what we have installed. Like Mio Linux, there's not a lot pre-installed. When you click on the menu, now you can left click. That's a left click on the desktop. A middle click will also bring up the menu, or you can bring it up down here if you need to. Anyway, we have a link to the file manager. The file manager is PCMan-FM. The terminal is Xterm, and I'm using some X resources to make it look, I think it looks nice. You might disagree, but I think it does. Run program, that is D menu. I am not going to click on it because if I hit escape to make it disappear, I will lose my my sound on the video. That's D menu. If you're not aware of what D menu is, it's a run command or menu that appears up here at the top of your screen. Screenshot, all these screenshots will go into your pictures folder, including if you use the key binding to take a screenshot. In accessories, you get leaf pad, nitrogen. That's what controls your wallpaper. PyCom. We will have to turn on PyCom in a moment. I won't say any more than that right now. Development icon browser, that is part of the ad. It comes along with the ad. In multimedia, you get Pulse Audio and VLC. Now, I do have Simple Screen Recorder installed in this live session, but I haven't updated the menu yet because I wanted to use that as an opportunity to show how this menu works. All of these are your applications. When you add or remove any application, after doing so, you'll need to come down here on Refresh Menu in order for that to appear or disappear from your menu. So as you see, there is no Simple Screen Recorder right now. So let's hit Refresh Menu. We'll wait just a moment. And now we have Simple Screen Recorder in our menu. Okay? Under Network, you get Firefox. That comes in. Normally, on systems I build, I don't include a web browser, but on NuTyX, it comes in automatically. Settings, I'm not going to go over the settings, and I'm not going to go over the system, other than you do get FL cards, which is the GUI for managing your packages. If you don't like using a terminal to install or uninstall certain packages, you can use FL cards. Conky. Now, out of the box, I don't have Conky auto started. If you were to click on Conky, you will see what the default Conky will look like. However, there are more Conkys available. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Conky. And it take a second. There it is. That's the default Conky. Gives you your basic information and some of the whereas if you clicked on this keyboard down here on the panel, you'd get a lot more keyboard shortcuts, and this this just gives you some of the really basic ones that most people might really want to use, okay? All right, refresh menu. I've already shown how that works. All right, under JWM configuration, we have Restart JWM. And if you're not familiar with JWM, like if you were to edit the JWM RC file and you wanted those changes after you finished the edit and saved it, you wanted those changes to take right away, all you'd have to do is hit this Restart JWM. We have JWM RC. I'm going to click on that. If you click on this, you're going to get a notification that pops up. And I'm not going to read the notification to you. Basically what the notification is, it gives you some instructions on what you need to do if you edit the JWM RC file. So let me click on it just so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, there's the JWM RC file, and here's the little pop-up message that pops up. Just read over this, and it'll hopefully plainly explain what you might need to do, or what you probably should do if you edit one of the JWM RC files, okay? We'll close that. Let me go back to configuration here. JWM themes. Now I only included 4 themes. I have Adwaita Dark, Deepen, and Deepen Dark. Deepen Dark is what you get out of the box. Let's hit on About Themes. It's going to be another notification that'll pop up to give you more instructions of what you need to do, okay? So if you click on that, you'll get this notification. Just read over it. It's pretty self-explanatory of what you might want to do if you edit one of the themes, okay? So let's change a theme. We are on Deep and Dark, and to show what I was talking about on the volume icon, I'm going to go to Adwaita. Takes just a moment. There we go. All right, we are on Adwaita. Now you can still see the volume icon. However, if you can see my mouse going in a circle down here at the right of the panel on the bottom, you can no longer see the network manager icon. And to fix that, the only way I've found to be able to fix that is if you log out and log back in. Then it will show up as a dark network manager icon. So that changes the panel, it changes the menu color, and it also changes applications. Sorry, Bruce, if you're watching this, I know that's bright to you, brother. Let's see, what else can I do? System accessories, we have PC Man as root, customized look and feel as root. You don't really need this, but it is handy, like if you wanted to change what your, when you open the file manager as root, the colors that are shown when it opens, stuff like that. Alright, Conky Chooser. Well, before I get to that, let's do touchpad controls. And these are just temporary. I put it right here at the top, temporary touchpad controls. If you're out and about and you need to do something with your touchpad, I have some basic touchpad controls here. And all of these are also in the auto start section of each JWM RC file. So if you wanted something to be auto started, you just go to that JWM RC file, find the touchpad control that you wanted to auto start, and it would do it. Okay, but you can do them on the fly right here. Let's see. You get a link to PyCom. If you want to edit the pycom.conf file, you can do that. So let's go to Conky Chooser. And you get 6 conkies. And before I start changing these around, I'm going to open this README file. Well, it's not really a file, it's another notification. And it just gives you information of what you need to do if you edit a conky. Okay? Alright, this is the default. And it says it right here. If you can see my mouse moving, it says default. Now at the top it says dossier requires PyCom. It's not that it actually requires PyCom, but if you want it to look halfway decent, you'll want your PyCom to be on. Okay? And conversation requires an internet connection. And that's due to one part. I will go over that when we click on it. So the one at the top is NuTyX. Let me click on that. That's what your NuTyX conky will look like. Just some basic information, time, date, and that beautiful NuTyX logo up there. Let's go ahead and do dossier, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And you see it has this just a black background, but let's turn on PyCom. And of course you can set conky to auto start when you turn on your computer. You can set PyCom to auto start. It's all in the JWM RC files. So let's turn on PyCom so you can see the difference. And you see how it changed. That looks a lot better, or at least it does to me. In dossier you get a lot more information delivered to you. Man, my CPU is out of sight right now. Alright, let's see what elemental looks like. Elemental, just a very basic conky with just your basic items you might want to see. Time, date, your RAM, CPU, and how much disk space you're using. Basic is the same thing, but it looks different and is at the bottom. There we go. Default, we've already seen default, but I'm going to click on it again just so you can see it. And conversation, I'll click on that. And the reason oh, I chose a bad time to click on conversation. What you get, this is like your computer talking to you and giving you some basic information about your system, what's going on. And right here, where my mouse is doing a circle, you get a quote, a wisdom quote. And here it says service. Sometimes it might be one line, it can be up to, I've seen some like 6 lines long. But that's why you need an internet connection, so you'll get this quote right here. Not that that's much of a quote, but I do agree, being in service to other people is a great thing. So let me close that out. I'm going to see, we've covered everything. You get a screen lock. Screen lock, all that does is just throw you back to the LXDM login screen. And on exit, you can shut down, reboot, or log out. All right, that is it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause the video, and I will come back with my life update. All right, be right back. It'll take me a moment, but you'll see me in just a second or two. Thanks. All right, we're back. Now, first of all, I want to kind of talk to Jim Acklaw for just a moment. I left a long, huge comment on his last video in which he was looking over NuTyX LXDE. And of course, the YouTube police decided to write me a citation, I guess, and my comment wouldn't show. So, Jim, I'm going to do my best to recall what was in my comment. As far as whether or not Cherry would be upset or have any problem with you making and releasing an ISO based on NuTyX, I can't personally speak for him, but I'm pretty positive he would be overjoyed if you did so. I remember when I first released an ISO based on NuTyX, he contacted me, and he was thrilled. He told me no one, as far as I know, he's telling me the truth. He said no one had ever done that before. And it made him really, really happy and thrilled that someone had taken his work, had done a respin, and put it out there for other people to use. And just to kind of back that up, I want you to see the license that he chose. Here we are on his GitHub page for NuTyX. Here's the license. Do what the blank you want to. Public license. And here's the entire license right here. That's the whole license. Do what the blank you want to. Public license. Everyone is permitted to copy and distribute verbatim or modified copies of this license document. And changing it is allowed as long as the name is changed. Do what the blank you want to. Public license. Here are the terms and conditions. There's one term and condition for using the license. Just do what the blank you want to. Oh, so Jim, I don't think you'd have to worry about it, man. If you can make an ISO, if I can help you anyway, just let me know. I'll do my best. But I think Cherry would be very happy if you did. Let's see, what else did we talk about, or what else did I comment about? Oh yeah, niggles. There are some niggles with NuTyX. So, I mean, right now there are only two people. There's Cherry and Spiky. There's two people who are handling a major distribution. They do all the packaging. They provide all the updates. And, you know, human beings are human beings. And there might be some little niggles every now and then. So, it's not something that bothers me. Ever since I've used NuTyX, I've loved it. It's been my favorite. And I have experienced some niggles. So, don't let that deter you or anyone else. You found a way to work around it. So, good deal. Let's see, was there something else? Oh, about speaking personally. Jim, if we can work that out, I would love to be able to talk to you. So we will work on that, okay, man? All right, I think that's all I wanted to address. I think there was something else, but I can't remember what it is, and I'm not just going to sit here in silence trying to think of it. Let me move on to my personal life updates. My wife was recently hired to be a Delta flight attendant, and that means she's making buku money. And I also get to fly free. So Jim and Go 67, if you guys are watching or listening to this, I might be coming over there, man. I'm going to hop across the pond because I can do it for free, baby. I'm not a big fan of flying. I did all the flying I wanted to do when I was in the United States Coast Guard back in the mid to late 1980s. And I don't really care for it anymore. To me, it's just a big hassle. But I know there are people who really love it. As some of you might know, my family and I, we like to visit Disney World periodically. We used to go like once a year, but we've slowed down on that. Well, the last couple of times we went, we flew. We flew from Atlanta to Orlando, and this is no lie, it took just as long for us to fly as it did if we just drove down there. It takes us roughly 7.5 to 8 hours to drive down to Orlando and get into Disney World, blah, blah, blah. It took just as long for us to fly. From the time we left our house, we got to the airport in Atlanta, went through all that mess of security, check-in, all that bunch of junk. And then a little measly 45-minute flight from Atlanta to Orlando until we got into our hotel. It took just as long. So I'm not a big fan of flying. It doesn't scare me. It doesn't bother me. I'm not a fan of all the stuff you have to go through. It's crazy. But anyway, so all that just to say that I might be seeing Jim and Go 67 soon. I don't know. We'll see how things go. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was last week on my way home from work, I was involved in a pretty bad car accident. I'm doing okay now. I was pretty sore there for a while, but my Jeep Compass pretty much got demolished in the back end. What happened was there was a truck in front of me, and he was slowing down. He had his blinker on. He was going to turn in his driveway, and he did. But this was an older gentleman, and he slowed down, and he almost came to a stop before he turned in his driveway. Well, I adapted, I'm a safe driver. However, like I had mentioned, he almost came to a stop before he actually turned to go into his driveway. And as he was turning into his driveway, I just happened to glance in my rearview mirror and saw this small SUV just barreling toward me. And I stomped. I knew they were going to hit me, but I tried my best to avoid it. I stomped on my gas and tried to get off on the shoulder of the road, but he was coming so fast. He just plowed into me. And I think, if I had not done what I did by stomping on the gas and trying to move over, if I hadn't done that, it would have been a lot worse. It messed my car up. I don't know how, but I survived a couple of years driving back and forth and around Atlanta for my job. And if you don't know I-285 in Atlanta, you won't appreciate that. But somehow I survived without any accidents. And I survived living in Florida. I hate to say this, but Florida drivers, those people are crazy. Somehow I survived driving in Florida without an accident. I did have a few close calls, but never got in an accident. But yet, on a country road in the middle of nowhere, I get plowed into. And what's worse, I won't go into all the insurance details, but here's basically what happened. I only have liability insurance on that vehicle. And that means, if you're not aware, that means if I get into an accident, my insurance company does not cover my car or my medical bills, anything like that. It will cover if I did damage to another vehicle, or I did damage to someone's property, or damage to a person themselves. It would cover that. So my insurance company has nothing to do with the accident. However, the other guy, it was a little young guy. I mean, he was respectful. He admitted it was his fault, that he wasn't paying attention, that he didn't have his eyes on the road. His insurance company, I have to call them to file a claim so that I can get my vehicle fixed. And I talked to a couple of people, and they finally, they tell me, all right, the insurance adjuster is going to call you in a few minutes, so just be aware. And he did. He called me, and he talked for a little while, blah, blah this, blah, blah that. Can you give me your statement? Can I record what you're saying? Yeah, go ahead. He said, okay. After we hang up, I'm going to send you a link, and I need you to click on that link and just follow the instructions. I said, okay. Well, lo and behold, the link is for me, the victim. The link is for me to do his job for him. I have to go out. I bet I took 50 or 60 pictures of my vehicle. I mean, from every angle, every side, the top, the engine, the inside, the outside, every angle possible of my vehicle. I had to take the pictures of it. And I always thought that's what an insurance adjuster was supposed to do. I thought they're supposed to come out, look at your vehicle, take pictures. But no, let's make the victim do it. And I will never, ever use this insurance company as long as I live. It's called Assurance Insurance. That's assurance. I will not ever, never, ever use that company if that's the way they do business. Oh, and I found out the insurance adjuster, he lives in Tennessee. So no wonder they wanted me to take all the pictures. Oh, well, that's it. That's all that's been going on with my life. I hope you guys have a great weekend coming up. If you want to try the NuTyX JWM spin, I will post the link to the NuTyX SourceForge page where you can download it. All right, you guys take care. Thanks.